Chelsea versus Aston Villa, the match preview, but who wants the truth when the lie is more entertaining? Because Enzo Maresca gives you the truth and people are absolutely furious and annoyed at his honest, harsh reality. I'm going to talk about how he says we're not in a title race. He gives us an update on what Chelsea need to do to improve and how they need to make sure that we get into that title race. He also talks about the healthy competition within the squad and how it's an asset, not the weakness that everyone's making it seem. And finally, we're going to preview the game in its entirety. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. I'm going to give you the praise that Enzo Maresca gave for Unai Emery. And I'm also going to tell you why tomorrow is a must not lose. We can't afford to not win, but at the same time, it won't be the end of the world, but it will be the end of the world if we lose. I'm telling you now, we cannot lose. But before we get started, hit that like button. 1,000 likes goes a long way. Subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to support. Free of charge. You can do it for free. You can do it now because you will forget. And finally, in the comments below, let me know. Do you think Chelsea are going to beat Aston Villa tomorrow? I think we're going to beat them. I think we're going to do it 2-1. It's going to be a good 2-1 victory. And we're going to walk away very positive. But let's get started. The question of the title race is here. It's upon us. Nobody thought we were going to be in it. Nobody said we were going to be in it. I don't think we're in it. However, now journalists are trying to spin the narrative that was, you can't have this many players because where are they going to change, to I don't think Chelsea can even get a top 4 position, let alone challenge for the title, to all of a sudden, are Chelsea in a title race? Because if Arsenal were in a title race, Chelsea in a title race. We're getting that whole narrative. For me, it's nonsense, right? They're just trying to put pressure on us. And to our manager, our beloved manager, he said the same thing. Enzo Maresca said, we are not in a title race. We are doing well. I'm happy to be spoken about in that regard. However, we are not in a title race. We need to be realistic. We are not built yet to go for the title. I am happy you're giving us this praise, but I am being realistic and I'm being honest. He also went on to say, look, we're not Arsenal, we're not Liverpool, and we're not Manchester City at this moment in time. They're not better than us. It's just they've been together longer. So they're more automated to what they need to do. They're more trained, they're more tested, and we will get better. But this does not mean we cannot win games. We must win games. We will win games. It's just a matter of us learning how to compete for a title. And for me, this is beautiful. This is exactly what I want to hear from this manager. He basically covered all bases. We want to win the title eventually. We aren't ready right now. However, we must win games now. It's what you want to hear, right? Because if we keep winning and in December, we're like 3 or 4 points, then we're going to say we're in a title race. Whether you like it or not, we are ahead of schedule. At the moment, it's been 11 games. Like, are we really going to be sitting here and working ourselves up for a title race only to be disappointed when we drop points that inevitably we all actively said, at this moment in time, we are not ready to be in a title race. I said 3rd and you lot absolutely cooked me in the comments. You said you're deluded. So how can we expect a title race all of a sudden? This team just needs to take it 1 game at a time and we'll regroup after Christmas. On Boxing Day, I'll tell you where I think we're going to finish again. And what I love about Enzo Maresca's press conferences, and it's what I loved about Tuchel's press conferences, I feel like every press conference, you learn 1 or 2 things. You learn his opinion, whether it's the truth, whether it's the most development thing of anything where you're like, oh my God, he blew my mind. No, you just listen to him and you're like, I know a bit more about where he stands and how he feels. And what he said today was absolutely wonderful. He said, look, against Leicester, we made that a more difficult game than it needed to be. We scored the 2nd goal, it was offside. We went into half-time at 1-0. We should have went in at 2 or 3-0 up. At that moment in time, it's game done, we control it and we finesse it. But, and this is the big but, we don't do it. We're not clinical enough. And it's something I always preach in my post-match reviews. A lot of people say to me, Alex, you're bang out of order. You know, you always find things to nitpick about. I don't find things to pick about. I just actively look at the performance, win, lose, or draw, and I give you a critical analysis. Because there's no point being happy about things that you know if you lost, you would be fuming about. Because if things don't change, like for example, we're not taking all the chances that we create, right? We create 5 chances, we take 1 of them. That's not good enough. I think we should be taking 2. I know you can't score every chance, but there needs to be a form of clinicality. Like for example, the other night, Nkunku went through 1-on-1, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall went through 1-on-1, Toussaint had a half volley from 8 yards out. Those chances, 1 of the 3 has to be settled. 1 of the 3 has to be buried. And if you don't bury them, you can't be saying, I think we're in a title race. So like I said, no title race. Enzo's right. We need to be more clinical. That is the biggest point of improvement for us. Be together a bit longer and take your chance. One thing the media is now trying to do is stir up some problems. You know them ones, James Harden it, you know, a little bit of a little stir. They're actively trying to plant seeds. Oh, your squad is very big. Oh, remember, you had no places to change. Oh, no, don't worry. Now you have places to change, but you have 42 players. Oh, wait, you only have 22 players. Okay, how are all of the players playing? Oh my God. Some of the players aren't even making a match day squad. They're starting to do that. And what I'm noticing is Enzo's tolerance for their stupid questions is deteriorating in front of our eyes. We can see he is tired of answering the same questions and repeating himself over and over again. And once again, they asked, how are you going to keep these players happy? He said, look, just because Romeo and Pedro and Gusto didn't play last week, it does not mean they don't have a chance to play this week. Just because Enzo, Badiashile and Felix played well does not mean they're going to play this week. I am going to rotate. I'm going to make sure I have healthy competition. There is a lot of games. Christoph will play. And for me, he's really explicit in what he said and he's just repeating himself. And I'm here having to cover what he's repeating himself about. We have a squad. It's horses for course. Sometimes you need somebody that can jump off the top rope. Sometimes you need somebody like a Jacob Fatu that can do everything. Sometimes you need Solo Sokoa who's going to go around and Samoan spike everybody. Do you understand? Everyone's got their own different skill sets. And for different games, you need different skill sets. And luckily for Enzo Maresca, he's privileged enough to have so many more facets of utilities to use. He's got Enzo for creativity, Romeo Lavia for excellent ball playing out of the back, Caicedo for being the engine of the team, and amazing on the ball when he needs to be. Good running stats from all three of them. People say Enzo is not mobile enough. Enzo might not be quick, but he covers a lot of ground. Go check the stats. Gusto, ability to play multiple positions, to be flexible. Is he doing it to the highest of degree? No, but it's healthy competition. People know you drop a bad performance, you should be dropped. Evidently, the only place that doesn't exist is goalkeeper at the moment. It frustrates me, but it is what it is. So I'm with Enzo Maresca on this one. We need to be a bit more patient, and the healthy competition is great for the team. Finally, he spoke about Unai Emery, and he was very complimentary. He said he's one of the best managers in the league. He's doing a fantastic job, and he's not exaggerating. Like, if you look at that team, right, on paper, that team should not be in the top four. Yes, Martinez is a fantastic goalkeeper, but the right back in Matty Cash, genuinely, like, he's a mid-table player. Consta and Pau Torres, good centre-halves. Left back in Digne, really? Like, are we going to big him up that much? Tielemans and Ross Barkley and Onana in the midfield three. Is that top four level? I don't think so. That's battling for top four level at best, in my opinion. You've got Ollie Watkins. Yeah, he gets goals, but is he anything special? I don't think so. You got Bailey on one side, and on the other side, you got Rodgers. It's just a good team. You know, it's a good unit. I think if they play against low blocks, they struggle. So what Chelsea need to do now is, in my opinion, and this is where my views come in, because we need to neutralize Villa. We need to make them feel uncomfortable. We need to make sure that we enter that game and we tell them, look, I understand you're going to try to hit us on the break. We're not going to allow you to do that. And more importantly, when you play that stupid defensive line that you do, we're going to exploit it. We need to move the ball quick, and we need to be very responsible in the way we play. You can't play a basketball game, but at the same time, you need to pose the threat of breaching that defensive line. So for me, it's going to be an interesting game. Do I think we're going to win? I think we're going to win. I said it at the start, I believe we can win. I think if we win this game, the next game against Southampton midweek is going to be critical. It's going to be crucial. It's going to be wonderful, because then we can get more points and all of a sudden the table will look very different. What we have to do is make sure we don't lose tomorrow. Genuinely. A draw is not the end of the world. Do you know what I mean? A loss, all of a sudden Villa are level points with us. There's just a whole host of negativity around us. We don't need that. We need a statement victory. Being a top four side from last year is integral. Genuinely, it's a home game. Go in there, do your business. What do I think is going to happen? I think Sanchez will start over Jurgensen. I am very annoyed that that is the case. Sadly, it is the case. In the back four, I think Gusto will come back in. Cucurella will play. Wesley and Levi, that is the defense. Do not play with it. It's a good defense. It's got everything you need. Go with it. Midfield, Enzo, I love you, broski, but you know what? You need to sit this one out. Reason being, I need Lavia and Caicedo to punch up, Onana and Tielemans and Ross Barkley. I need them to do their job. They're the midfielders that I believe have the best physicality and compatibility for the game that we are going to play. You go with the number 10 in Pedro Neto, number 10 in Cole Palmer, right wing Pedro Neto. Noni, sit this one out. On the left wing, this is where the decision comes in. Personally, I'm going with Joao Felix. I think he's going to go with Jadon Sancho. I think Sancho's going to get the start on that side because of the ball retention, because of the way Sancho played midweek. I think Felix misses out. Felix plays the game on the midweek against Southampton. And up top, Nico Jackson. You do not drop your striker that is banging in goals for fun. Now, overall, do I think that team's good enough to beat him? 100%. Is it guaranteed? Nothing's guaranteed with this Chelsea team. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. Peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely day.